What is up, YouTube? Today, I didn't think I was going to do a stream, but, well, I was going to save it until Friday, till the weekend, but you know how Adrasdea is. So, again, she's still on the warpath, blaming Aunt Kathy for all her problems. So, since we all know that Adrasdea likes to either delete her videos or privatize them, the Adrasdea Revive channel has managed to save a few nuggets that we can take a look at. So, let's just bear and grit this shit and get this party started. Hey! Okay, that sounded weird. But not as weird as Adrasdea's accusations. Let's start.
If anybody watches my videos and actually believes I'm threatening children, I think you're the one that needs a mental evaluation. Because I never threatened anybody. I have never threatened any children on my channel, on my Facebook, through email.
Well, technically, you made a threat saying that you hope that Aunt Kathy's grandchildren would suffer repercussions for what their grandmother said about you. If that's not threatening her children, then I don't know what is.
I don't threaten children.
Yes, you do.
A threat would be saying that I was coming, that I was on my way to Georgia, that I was personally going to do something, like my little sister told me she was personally going to stop me from receiving my inheritance last year. That's a threat.
That was a troll pretending to be your little sister.
Saying if you show up, you're in danger. There's people here waiting for you. That's a threat.
When she said that, she meant that there are going to be people who will be angry at her for lying about them on her YouTube channel. That's the threat she was talking about. She didn't say that they were going to kill her. She is batshit insane.
What I said was, things on the internet tend to stay on the internet.
Well, yeah.
And in a few years, the general mindset might not still agree with Kathy, who is anti-mental illness and anti-homeless help, anti-government assistance.
She's not anti. She's anti-Adrasdea. You idiot. She's anti-you, Adrasdea, because you lie about her. She has to defend herself too, because you have a tendency of lying about her continuously. And you're just upset because Aunt Kathy has more of a following than you.
It is not my fault at all if she faces repercussions for those words 10 years from now. It's not my fault if her family faces repercussions for those words. I didn't make her say them. She chose to say what she said. She chose to document it here on YouTube. She made that choice. I was trying to let the children's parents know what she was doing so that they could act accordingly, because she needs a little bit of a reality check.
You need, actually, no, Adrasdea, you are the one that needs the reality check. What Aunt Kathy is saying is true. Everything she says about you is entirely true. You are trying to silence her just so that people won't find out how much of an evil, disgusting human being you really are. That's the truth.
She thinks she has nothing to lose, and it's possible that she doesn't. She's old. But her children and her grandchildren are young. And when you're putting things online, they're not going to fade away in a week unless you're using that one specific app. These videos are going to be up forever. In 20, say that freaking...
Yeah, I agree, Blue. Guilt by association is wrong. I mean, and this is what she's trying to do. She's trying to, like, rope in the grandchildren to... Well, just like Shanny for Christ, Adrasdea wants to take everyone down just by association. She can't, for the life of her, take full responsibility for her actions. If anything, honestly, if it wasn't for her YouTube reputation, she would have ended up being the next Eileen Wernos or the next Catherine White. Catherine Wright. Catherine Knight. Sorry. But she doesn't have that serial killer mindset.
Say that one of her grandchildren decides to, like, run for mayor.
Oh, I saw this already, but I just wanted to recap to see what the mindset of what this person is, because I'm going through the collection. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be taking a look at a little more of the Adrasdea craziness.
We're not going to say president. Nobody in my family should ever be president. But assume one day one goes to be like town sheriff or town mayor, somebody in town who's well respected,
I'm doing good,
highly regarded, been there for a while and had a name.
I'm doing good. It's Gupta that fucked me up. Yeah, because it's. I think right now the whole Gupta thing is becoming a running meme in the Daywave community. Every time internet service gets cut or every time a stream goes down, blame Gupta. # blame Gupta.
They're running and they got their campaign posters up everywhere, and then all of a sudden this video resurfaces of their grandmother saying that people who are on government assistance should be ashamed of themselves. I don't know if I'd want that to be my mayor or sheriff or in my town. But that's not my fault. Kathy's the one that said it.
Of course, it's never your fault, Mary. It's always Aunt Kathy's fault. It's always everybody's fault but yours. You just can't. You're the victim here. You're always the victim. And you'll always be the victim.
I was trying to help by letting the parents know what she was doing. They don't care. That's their choice. I'm not threatening anybody. I'm not making any claims. I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen. I'm saying what could happen when you're dealing with the internet. And personally, I think my aunt is going to fuck up a lot of shit because y'all are gassing her up to make her think she's right, and she sounds like a complete nutcase. She sounds insane with this emotional war against her niece, who is...
Emotional war? I know about Aunt Kathy's thing. I know she wants to use... no, not Aunt Kathy. Adrasdea wants to use Aunt Kathy as like a human shield to deflect the criticism off her. I mean, since she can't since she can't take down Adonis Paul, she can't take down Daywave Radio. She doesn't care about Hatman or myself. She has to go after the one person that she loathes the most. and that's her Aunt Kathy. Because Aunt Kathy decided to make a YouTube channel where she has to defend herself against her niece.
Literally got nothing. Spent 5 years homeless and battling mental health issues. And she's trying to prove that she doesn't have mental health issues by acting like a rebellious, jealous teenager with freaking sibling rivalry.
Now there's the pot calling the kettle black.
My grandmother raised me right there. Her daughter has sibling rivalry with me. This isn't a natural.
Now there's the pot calling. Aren't you the one acting like a rebellious teenager? Weren't you a rebellious teenager when you were still living in your grandmother's house?
Niece-aunt relationship. There's not other aunts out there trying to emotionally and financially destroy their family member because they got mad over an anonymous book that was written.
It wasn't anonymous. You put it out on Facebook and told that it was your book. It wasn't anonymous to begin with, you dumb bitch.
Not normal. That is not normal. I'm not normal, and I know that's not normal. All right? It is not my fault if this stuff resurfaces later and fucks her family in the ass. I warned them. She's choosing to do it anyway. They're choosing to allow it. It's out of my hands. It's going to get crazy, but it's out of my hands.
That was not what I was expecting, but here, anyway, so that was a recap. Now let's take a look at something as of recent. Since we all know, like, Adrasdea loves to upload videos trying to get people to feel sorry for her. And in actuality, it doesn't work that way. So here's the recent insanity of Adrasdea. My pain is not theirs to deny.
I can't, I can't. It's all such bullshit that she thinks she can just come and take my entire story away just by omitting the truth, which is what she's doing.
Omitting the truth, huh? I guess now you understand that there are repercussions for what you put out there.
Saying that she'll tell my mother's story. She'll tell y'all that my father was abusive, but not that he ever touched me, because there's no proof he ever touched me. He was the most abusive fucking human being in the world. He laid hands on every single person he ever made contact with. So my story, you don't want to hear my story alone, with nobody else involved, just what I experienced. Here it is. I was born in a car. And you can say, well, you didn't experience that, you were too young. Bullshit. Bullshit. People feel trauma that they went through at birth. Children who are disconnected from their parents at birth because they have to be in a fucking incubator or something. That's why they have the parents hold them and be so close to them, so that they don't have any traumatic responses from being separated or being through that situation at such an early age.
I don't believe half the things you say. Again, you're retconning. Again, she's retconning her past. I don't know whether or not that's true, but then again, Adrasdea lies so much that she doesn't even know what the truth is. And I keep repeating myself. But that's okay. We all know that this is the thing. She likes to deflect. She likes to retcon. She likes to make up these things about herself that aren't even true to begin with. She can't keep consistent with her stories.
So after that, my grandmother took me because she came to check on me a couple of days after I came from the hospital, and I had a rat eating a hole in my leg.
Okay, I don't know about that part. But I think I've heard it before. She's always used this story as a way to like garner sympathy from people, saying that a rat was eating a hole through her leg, which again, I don't really believe that. I think she just made that up because, again, it gives her clemency over being a perpetual victim. In case you're hearing that noise, yeah, they're the people who are working on the house on our house, my mother's house, and yeah, they're packing up their stuff because they're finished.
And I still have the scar from it. It's right here. It's old and bisected, but this is from where a rat was eating a leg and a hole in my leg when I was just a little baby. Days.
How do you know that it was there? I know it's okay. I mean, Adrasdea can be boring at times, but when it comes to her mental breakdowns, when she starts crying and starts having throwing a hissy fit about how Kathy won, and then she starts punching herself, that's when it gets funny.
Old. Only days old, and my mother had just completely...
I could see she's not... Her tears are fake news, folks. Fake tears are fake news.
She just forgot about me. She put me down in this old playpen, and she didn't change me or feed me. And she was just letting a rat eat me. And when Meemaw came to get me, she wouldn't respond to her. She just stood and stared out the window. I don't know if she was on drugs or if she had been beaten so bad that she just couldn't communicate. I was taken, and Meemaw kept me from there until my parents called a couple of months later, asking her if she had had a child, because they were having an argument, and Ronnie was sure that she had had a child, and she was sure that if it was there, if she had had a child, it would be there, and it wasn't. So they called her mother, who assured her that she had a child, and it was me. From there, they started wanting visits. And I would go back and forth from my grandmother to my parents. And at my parents, there was always so much screaming. At my parents, I didn't stay at the house very much because I didn't like being inside.
By the way, these aren't her stories, by the way. These aren't her stories. These are the story. This isn't her story, by the way. She's ripping off. These aren't her stories. This is from Dave Pelzer's book, A Child Called It. These are the words of Dave Pelzer, not hers.
My grandmother would come pick me up and I'd be outside eating with the dog.
Okay, that's not her story. That's from Dave Pelzer's book, A Child Called It.
On the nights when I wasn't with my grandmother.
Hey, Lady Justice.
Home, I would have to walk on eggshells to make sure I didn't anger anybody.
Yeah.
At night when we went to bed, it would be fighting, and we would listen to my parents fight.
That comes later.
And cuss and beat. And wonder if tonight was going to be the night that he killed her. And what was going to happen if he did? What would happen after he killed her? Was he going to kill the rest of us? Or would we finally be free? I used to have sleep paralysis as a teenager. And my father was my sleep demon. I would wake up in the middle of the night and not be able to.
Once again, these aren't her stories. These are Dave Pelzer's.
After my grandfather passed away and climb on top of me.
She still thinks her father raped her, by the way.
After my grandfather passed away, it became my dad's job to start driving me to my grandmother's on the weekends. And he was quickly volunteering. He volunteered for it quick, and then after, I guess about a month or two, he started doing things to me in the truck on the way there.
Once again, folks, there is no proof that her dad touched her. She's using these stories, and this is there is no proof, by the way, that Mary's dad touched her inappropriately.
The only way I could get out of doing anything was to not go to my grandmother's, which I couldn't not go to my grandmother's because life at that house was so much hell.
Really?
It was just constant torture.
Let's not forget the fact that you were at a karaoke bar in Florida, and then you sang a song to honor your late father. Was that after he took his own life? Possibly.
The smallest.
I don't doubt. Like, again, I said, I don't doubt that her father mistreated her badly. But the thing with Adrasdea is she likes to retcon her story as a way to manipulate people into feeling sorry for her. And sadly, she kind of contradicts herself continuously, nonstop. And it becomes repetitive. I mean, stick to one story for once. But then again, that's too much to ask from Mary here.
Thing would send him into a rage. And I'd be made fun of at school because I stunk and my parents wouldn't wash my clothes. The house stunk. The air we breathed stunk, and it stuck to our clothes when I was in school. There were kids that thought that I was a drug dealer because I always smelled like marijuana. 24/7. Every time they brought the drug dogs in, the drug dog would come over and sniff me out.
Again, this is her retconning her story.
And it just became known that I was the drug girl. We were so angry all the time. There was so much hatred in that house. From my older sister, my little sister. The only person that wasn't angry was little Ronnie. My mom would get drunk.
Okay, in case you guys haven't noticed, I've been shilling out my PayPal in the chat in case you want to check it out. If you want to donate a few bucks my way, you can do so. It helps a lot. I mean, I got this thing going on where I'm going to be doing some art shit, hopefully soon in the near future. And stock photos on deposit photos and Shutterstock, they don't come cheap. That shit ain't cheap. I got to get the best when it comes to that shit.
And do things that were crazy. Like running up and down the street barking at dogs. She would just disappear and wake up in ditches. My older sister would beat you up if you even looked at her, buddy.
Really?
She took everything that I ever had that she wanted.
Really?
As an adult. After I moved out and got married, my older sister used to rob me.
Lady Justice says, she's too stupid to realize that if she only stuck to one story, she'd be more believable. But no, little Mary, quite contrary, needs to make her story worse to keep getting sympathy. I agree, Lady Justice. I totally agree. I mean, then again, she's kind of like Shani. She can't keep consistent with her stories. She always has to lie and say that this person did this to her, this person did that, and vice versa. Mary and Shani, they always like to retcon their stories just so that it could make them feel more like the victim, just so that it could get them pity. They can't take full responsibility for their actions.
She used to wait till I was at work and then go to my house and break open the back door and just take what she wanted. She took all of our food just before Thanksgiving the first year we were married. And I was working at that time. I was taking care of myself, and my family was coming and just taking what they wanted. It was normal. I thought I was never going to escape it.
That's the problem, Sherry B. She can't grow up. She refuses to grow up. Because, again, if she grew up, she wouldn't be a victim anymore. She needs the victimhood. She needs the pity. It would make her feel better about herself if she gets pity.
You know?
She's an egotist.
My family is still just coming into my life and taking whatever they want, aren't they? That's what my aunt is doing every time she tells y'all that I never.
I agree, Sherry B. I totally agree.
18 years. I went back and forth living in that house with the most angry people. And yes, he beat me. And yes, he touched me. And y'all need specific stories. I know, okay. Once when I was 8, me and my sisters went to the store and my older sister stole alcohol. And she shared it with us on the walk home. And when we got home, my dad realized we were drunk. And he took us each into the bathroom.
Oh, I just wanted to preface this that I have 303 subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing, and we're gonna make that goal soon.
Separately, and I don't know what he did to them, but I know what he did to me. And I told my older sister about it, and she told me that I was lying because I was too fat for him to ever touch.
Where have I heard this story before? She's been using the same story over and over again, saying that her sister says that she's too fat to be and too ugly. First it's she's too ugly, next it's too fat. Keep consistency, but that's too much.
And every time I would tell somebody, they would tell me that I was lying, that they didn't believe me.
Well, I'm not going to repeat myself.
So I stopped speaking out. I started lying. I started saying that everything was fine.
And then you started lying about how your family mistreated you.
Senior in high school.
And then you started lying about how everyone mistreats you. Your family, Daywave Radio, Adonis Paul.
I was having.
Everyone's mean to you.
My grandmother took me to the hospital once because she thought I was having a heart attack. I gotta calm down. I'm sorry. I was made fun of and avoided at school because I was weird and spelled funny, and nobody really knew what the problem was. And I wasn't allowed to tell anybody. When they sent that letter home as a kid, they wanted me to see a therapist, and my parents threw it away. And they screamed for days that there was nothing wrong with me. They didn't really care. They just wanted to make sure that I didn't say anything to the wrong people.
Now I could see the real tears streaming down her face. But again, that's fake news.
I was having a lot of trouble sleeping by the time I was a senior in high school, and I would wind up falling asleep in class. And I was having blackouts by this point. I would do and say things that I wouldn't remember even minutes later.
Again, I refuse to believe this, but okay, continue on, Mary.
One day I was in the office. I was working in the office as an assistant with a couple of other kids. And I thought I had fallen asleep, but I guess I had just disassociated. And the next thing I remember, the girls were asking me about my dad. The police came and they talked to me, but I didn't even remember what I had said. And I was scared, to be honest.
Blah, 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 blah.
I couldn't sleep.
We know.
Because the fighting had gotten so much worse because my little sister had pressed charges against him for sexual assault, and he had to move out, and my mom freaked. She would stay up all night long, sitting in the hallway in front of the bedroom doors, screaming that we were worthless, ungrateful, unloving children, that we ruined her life, we took her husband away from her, and...
Okay, I don't know if any of that is true, but then again, Mary is never honest.
We were such horrible people. We took her husband away from her by turning him in for hurting us.
I agree.
And my little sister, she was always a mama's girl, and having her mama turn on her like that was... She dropped all the charges just to have her mother love her again.
Really?
That's why I never filed charges against him, because I saw what my mom did to my sisters when they did it. It wasn't something that was going to help.
Really? Again, this is not her story. This is not her story, by the way. Again, she stole this story from, well, I don't know if she stole these stories from Dave Pelzer, but I wouldn't put it past it, since she likes to lie all the time. She likes to steal other people's stories to make herself the victim. I'm just listening in and refuting everything she says.
I'm sorry. I'm really just... It hurts, you know?
I'm betting it does.
It hurts to dig into these memories and talk about them. And it hurts worse that I'm going to have hundreds of people telling me I'm lying. I'm making them up because my own family member is telling me I'm lying.
Yeah, that's because you are lying. And of course, you will get that shit going for you. Since we all know that you expect your lies to be accepted as truth. And you steal other people's stories, again, to make yourself become the victim. Prove it.
Doesn't always know everything that happens.
Prove it.
Kathy was not around. She didn't live with us.
Fuck.
And that's not even getting further into my life. That's only talking about my childhood. That's not talking about after I left them.
She's just going on and on about how everyone is wrong for her. Everyone wants her dead. Everybody wants her to suffer. Yada, yada, yada. I mean, it's funny to see her go off on this, but again, it gets tiresome at times. That's why we're going to go with this one. It's the new suicide baiting story, which I found in my feed. And here's her faking her suicide baiting again.
I can't take it anymore. The lies.
The lies.
The denial.
The
complete neglection of my emotional feelings and my pain. For the rest of my life, everybody is going to believe her story, that I lied when I didn't lie. I didn't lie.
Yes, you did. You did lie. You said that Aunt Kathy was the devil. Or you say that Aunt Kathy was inbred. Or something like that.
My parents were abusive. I did not lie. My father literally crippled his own child and used him as a drug mule. I did not lie.
Yes, you did.
But the only way anybody is ever going to speak out for me is after I'm dead.
Oh,
so
dear
that's
Lord.
What's going to happen.
Of course. Now, this is what you guys want. This is what you guys want to hear, is her suicide baiting again. Again!
Today. As soon as I end this video,
uh-oh,
I'm gonna leave my apartment.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know exactly where I'm gonna go, but I'll never be seen or heard from again.
Here we go again.
And after they find my dead body, I know that somebody here is going to speak up for me.
Oh, dear Lord. You know, we all know damn well she's gonna come back. She always does. She always likes the suicide bait.
And say, this never should have happened. Her aunt lied. This never should have happened. Her parents were abusive. This never should have happened. She didn't lie about the pain she was experiencing. She didn't lie. One of you has to see it. One of you has to know. And one of you has to step forward after I'm found and tell the world that I had to die because my family refused to allow me to speak out about the abuse that they put me through.
What about people like AP or Daywave or Verge? They were hammering into you, but then again, your family is the devil incarnate, according to you. I mean, your family was telling the truth about you. That's a thing. That's a given. The fact that you decided that, again, you're going to commit suicide because, again, you want people to feel sorry for you for whatever fake suffering you put yourself through. Like, most people have said this about you, Adrasdea, is that you're your own worst enemy.
They refuse to allow me. They bring up legal documents and pictures and claim that they know everything. They don't know anything about me. She just keeps telling people I'm lying about everything. I'm lying about my memories. I'm lying about my pain. I'm not. I've been hurting so badly. I've just been in so much pain. And I just want it to end. And I'm counting on somebody here to tell my story after I'm found, to tell the truth, to tell the world that my aunt lied. And my family is abusive, and my aunt has lied to hurt me. She has lied specifically to silence me and kill me, and it worked. Because I'm going to die.
I agree. That's basically why she's always complaining, is that she's losing her pay piggies. I agree, Lady Justice. The only reason why she's having meltdowns is the fact that she's going to lose her pay piggies because people are telling the truth about her. People would
today.
I know the video is out of sync because it's on Facebook.
I'm gonna die today, but I need somebody to speak up after I'm found. And I know nobody will until after. I know. I mean nothing while I'm alive. While I'm alive, nobody is ever going to care. But afterwards, somebody has to come forward and tell them what my aunt did.
Are you going to go and say that your aunt killed you just because by telling the truth about you? Is that what this is, Mary? You're going to go and say that your aunt murdered you because she refused to accept your bullshit stories? I'm sorry. What does that prove? That you're nothing more than a coward. But then again, you're not really suicidal. I know you're not suicidal because your words can cause outrage. And honestly, there are people out there angry with you for lying about them. And they might not be kind to you if they ever encountered you in real life.
Somebody has to come forward and tell them what my family has done. That's all I want. That's all I need. I'll never be heard.
I'll never be heard.
My pain will never be seen.
Blah, blah, blah.
And I can't live this way anymore. I simply can't. I can't not live this way another day. It just hurts too much. And nobody's ever going to care because my family tells them that I deserve the pain, that I deserve to hurt, that I deserve to be abused. My aunt tells people that I deserved to be abused as a child. That's why she would not protect me. I was such a horrible child. At 3 years old, my aunt believes that I deserve to be sexually molested.
Wait, whoa. What the fuck was that all about, Mary? What the fuck? Mary, you're really going in on this because you think that you owed some sort of compensation. And you're going to try and slander your aunt's name just so that you could get people to feel sorry for you. You've been doing this for I don't know how many years now. First it's the government, then it's the home, then it's always your family, then it's Adonis Paul, then it's Royce Lopez, JJ Stoner, Virgie GG. And then it's Aunt Kathy. You want to use people as human shields to deflect the criticism off yourself. You try to manipulate people into feeling sorry for you, but then you fail to do so. Because people know that you like to lie all the time.
That's what I deserved in this life. According to my family. It will say over and over again that everything that's ever happened to me, I fully deserved it. I deserved everything. I deserved the abuse. I deserved the lies. I deserved...
Oh, I'm going to cover info piece in a future stream that is not on StreamYards.
All of it. They'll never, ever admit that what they did was wrong. Not until after I'm dead. Somebody is going to have to be held accountable after they find me. Somebody is going to have to speak out and be honest for me and be my voice. Because my voice was silenced by my family. My life has officially been silenced by my family, and I want the world to know it. I need the world to know it.
She needs the world to know her pain. Lady Justice says, Blue, I have never gotten why they do that shit or what the appeal is. I get why, but logically it doesn't make any sense to me.
So I'm going to leave now.
We know.
And I'll let this posted so as many people can see it as possible. And when the news reports start, and when they find my body, please somebody step forward and tell them what happened. Tell them that I did not lie.
Tell them that Aunt Kathy killed you with her words. They're gonna laugh and say that she was a drama queen and she's a liar. You're not gonna commit suicide, Mary. You don't really want to die. You just want people to feel sorry for you because, again, it gives you clemency that you are the perpetual victim. You are literally the most fucked up person I've ever seen. And I've seen Shandy for Christ. And Lord knows how many times Shandy has suicide baited people. I've lost count of how many times Shandy for Christ has suicide baited people.
That I truly was in pain. That I truly needed help and support, that my family refused me.
Woe is me.
At a very public level, they refused me my life.
They refused
me my story. They refused me my pain.
Ah!
They can't refuse my death.
They can't refuse my death.
Choice. I can choose to keep being in pain, or I can choose to have it end. And I know that once it's over, my family will finally face justice.
I agree too. Blue, Lady Justice. A lot of people don't like me either, but that's not because but that's only for other reasons. A lot of people don't like me either. Yes, we're always going to have haters. We're always going to have people who will hate on us. And that's not for the lack of trying.
For what they're doing. I know they will. I know in my heart that if I die, somebody will step forward and say something about what my family has done. I did not lie.
Yes, you did.
I didn't lie. It's not their drama. It's mine. It's my life. It's mine. Mine. I was the
one that grew up 18 years in a house with my father beating my mother every night. I was the one being sexually molested by my father and his friends. I was the one going through it. It's not their trauma that it's taking from me. It's literally my pain. That's the entire problem here. You people think it's her story. It's hers. She's taking it and giving it away. It's fucking mine.
So you're going to kill yourself because Aunt Kathy is telling the truth? This is why nobody believes you, Mary. It's because you're disingenuous. You lie, and then when shit hits the fan and you can't take it anymore, you go through the whole suicide baiting thing. This is the Adrasdea cycle, folks. She's going to act tough 1 minute, and then she's going to start crying, and then she's going to suicide bait, and then she's going to start acting like a complete nut job, and then she's going to act all boastful. It's kind of like the Shanny cycle.
It was mine. I grew up with that. I have those memories. I grew up with a little brother who was handicapped by his own father and then used as a drug mule. Please, God, make sure somebody knows that. If they know nothing else about my family, make sure they know that my father handicapped his own child and used him as a drug mule. He handicapped his own son and used him as a drug mule. That's all you need to know about my father.
Yeah. Yeah. So we all know about how dumb Adrasdea really is, especially when it comes to keeping up with the narrative. She's been saying this whole her father used his handicapped son as a drug mule for about some time, and I believe it. Platty said, Rick has made it when Adrasdea starts to mention him as a source of ire. Wait, what? When was this? I better take a look at that. That's probably in one of her recent videos. But for now, I just want to show one of my favorite pastimes, Adrasdea beating herself. I'll take a look at that later, but first, I got to take a look at one of my favorite pastime moments is Adrasdea punching herself and screaming at the top of her lungs.
She knew. That's the problem. She knew. She always knew it. She wouldn't do anything. She wouldn't do anything. She didn't care. Lying and denying and taking away.
Good one, Platty. Oh my god. I would love to. I would love to see that. I would love to see Adrasdea go ham whenever I point out her bullshit. I would love to see that because she is gonna. It would make my day. It would definitely make my day once Adrasdea starts talking shit about me. It will definitely make my day. Go on, Mary. Go on. I know you're watching this. I know you're going to watch this because honestly, I got you. I got your ass here.
I do. It hurts so bad. Having her lie to you all, having her all believe that I've gone through nothing, that I...
Oh, I would be looking forward to that. I would be looking forward to when Adrasdea starts talking shit about me. I would love to see that. I would definitely want to see that. And I know it's inevitable. I can feel it. I know that when Adrasdea starts talking shit about me, that's when I have my fun.
I deserve what's happening to me.
Because she's going to move on from Aunt Kathy. And she's going to look for another target. Which is why I've been wanting to get Aunt Kathy on my channel. Which is why I want to get Aunt Kathy on my channel. Just so that she could just so that Adrasdea can get pissed off. That's why I've been trying to lobby for Aunt Kathy to come on my channel. Just so that Adrasdea can get pissed off and start talking shit about me. Because I would be ecstatic to see what she says about me. If she try, she's gonna do it. She's gonna start hitting herself. Come on.
Never gonna stop.
She almost hit herself. Fuck. Damn it, Mary. Commit to the thing. Commit to the thing. And now we shall take a look at this. Oh, shit. Yeah. I would love to see Mary go after me. I mean, it would be funny. Maybe later. Maybe later, but for now, yees. I'll take a look at that later on. Oh. I'm going to take a look at that for my next stream. So this is one of the recent ones. And this is the one where Virgie does an interview with Aunt Kathy, which was on May 11th of this year. This was probably one of the reasons why his channel got ticked. I mean, one of his... This is where I think she flagged Virgie's channel.
I just want to make sure that this is documented in case they decide to delete it after I'm found and the truth begins to come out. This is Kathy talking about my transgender ex-husband. Now, as you listen to the things that she says about transgender people, understand that she has a very close family member who is also, if not transitioning, not playing for the same team. So this is the most disrespectful thing a family member can say about another family member going through this. And she's perfectly fine saying it because it hurts me.
It hurts
and
you.
She's going to come back and say, well, that's not all transgender people. It's just Mary's husband. No, bitch. You are talking about a man who transitioned into a woman. It does not.
Once again, guys, like the stream, folks. Please, it really helps out. Like the stream. It helps out a lot. And I mean a whole lot.
For a man to transition into a woman. And this is the mindset that the Mackeys have. This is the mindset that they're raising their children to believe. Those children that she wants to protect so badly, in 20 years, they're going to be growing up with this mindset that transgender people are gross and stupid and not to be acknowledged.
No, Lady Justice. He wasn't married to it. That's not the same one. She's referring to Stephen, her first husband, her ex-husband, who happens to be trans. Stephen was the one who was seeing an underage girl while still married to Adrasdea.
Mary's ex, like the grossed one, they said they met.
Well, the grossed one. Go ahead and clarify again.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard him talk about. I think I heard Mary talk about seeing a married man while seeing a married man for cuddles.
How disgusting these people are by calling it the gross one. I know that I say him a lot. I married a man. It still is not connecting in my brain because I never knew him as a woman, really. But I'm not saying that it's gross or disgusting or a bad thing. I don't mean to misgender. I'm genuinely unable to get it right in my head because I married a man.
And let's not forget the fact that when people were calling her out for facilitating a pedophile, or I mean not a pedophile, an ephebophile, seeing an underage girl while still married to her, still married to Adrasdea, she went out and said that the internet are nothing but Nazis. And then she said, hey, Adonis Hitler.
They are intentionally being hurtful. That's the difference.
I was only there. I didn't go to a restaurant because, like I said, I can't handle stupid.
She can't handle stupid.
You can't fix stupid. That's the thing. You can't fix stupid.
So she wouldn't go to a restaurant with my ex-husband and my grandmother because she believed that it was too stupid.
It was the day that we were leaving. They were getting ready to go.
Yeah, we always celebrated when you left.
Right.
And I did hear about it, when I come home, my mom was first to call, and she was just embarrassed. Now, like I said, I don't know what he's like now at all. I mean, he was a nice, polite guy, but I just think he liked soft things, maybe. I don't know.
So she said that Meemaw told her she was embarrassed. That is a lie. Meemaw loved my husband. She was never embarrassed by him. Kathy.
Well, maybe she was maybe Meemaw was putting on a front to make you feel better because you were her favorite in some capacity. But again, deep down, Meemaw was probably embarrassed that you were married to a guy who probably has a history. And of course, he was also seeing an underage girl while you were still married to him.
Is embarrassed by things like that, not Meemaw. This is Kathy running down my grandmother's reputation, making people believe my grandmother is anti-trans. That's not my grandmother. That's Kathy.
Keep going.
Mary always talked about the 16-year-old girlfriend. I mean, it really.
That's what
she didn't understand what.
That's what Meemaw was embarrassed about, Mary, is the fact that your ex-husband was seeing an underage girl while you were still married to the bastard. That's what Meemaw was married. That's what Meemaw was embarrassed about. And the fact that you were in denial that he was seeing an underage girl while you were still married.
That girl could have, and she doesn't have. And I was thinking, well, she's pretty, probably, and got youth. And
oh, okay. So y'all have been on me about not turning in my ex-husband for being with the 16-year-old that he was with before me. But my aunt is laughing and saying that he was with her because she was young and pretty. I was 19.
You were in denial. She was embarrassed. No, Meemaw was embarrassed that you were being cut by an underage girl.
I was 19. If he was going for somebody younger than me, any of them would have been underage because I was 19.
You were being cut.
Kathy laughing and saying he was cheating on me with somebody younger. To be younger, you'd have to be a literal child. But Kathy's okay with that. She's fine with that because it's about me. And it's making me look bad that at 19, I wasn't young and pretty enough.
No, it's because you were being cucked. That's all that there is to it. You were just being cucked, plain and simple.
But it's not supposed to make her look bad that she is now saying that this 16-year-old was so much prettier. And that's how she took a grown man. She's literally that's victim blaming. Y'all are telling me that I'm a bad person for taking.
And the fact that he was still seeing an underage girl. But the fact is that you were married to an ephebophile. You married an ephebophile, and he was still seeing an underage girl.
Him to see her. Kathy's literally saying she's the one that was seducing him. She was younger and prettier, and so it was probably better.
There might be a lot of things about her that maybe she don't act like a psycho every once in a while.
Oh, she was 16, Kathy. She was 16. Why don't we focus on that? No, you're not going to do that. You're going to graze past the point that she was 16 and say, well, she was younger. Yeah, she was younger. She was 16.
I haven't seen him, since they sold the bigger house. We call it the smart house, the house that was smarter than we were. We couldn't get in at much time. So when they moved from there, I didn't see him again.
Huh.
They were not together as long. Mary, I think she changes it every once in a while, 4 or 5 years, something like that. They technically only lived together. I don't even know if they were together a year.
Right.
That's a lie. Me and my husband got married November 4th, 2004.
Yeah, the reason why I was trying to get Barbara to check out my PayPal was to piss off Mary. Because I would never dox anyone. I treat everyone like family here. I treat everybody like family. I treat my subscribers and the people in the chat like family. Unless you do something fucked up, then you're out. But anyway, I wouldn't go as far as to doxing people. I am not that. I am totally against doxing. I'm totally against blackmail. I despise that shit. If you try that here, then get ready to feel the ban hammer, because that shit don't fly with me.
I was 19. The first time I attempted to leave him was in 2006. The night he beat me so badly that the neighbors came down with their pickup trucks and hauled him away. That happened in 2006. 2 years after we got married, we were living together, we were working together. So the neighbors haul him off, and a few days later, my dad blows his head off. And I'm having a lot of issues at the time because I don't know how I feel about my father, but he's just killed himself. And my husband came back.
Exactly. I treat my haters with respect too, because again, they don't really hate me. It's kind of like a ritualistic hazing process that fraternities go through. But I make my own fraternity if I have to. I make my own club.
And told me that he would be with me and he would be there for me. And I couldn't, at that point, be alone. I couldn't get the divorce. I couldn't leave him because I was going through too much emotionally. And that was the time when we sat down and we had the discussion, and it was explained to me that the only reason he was beating me was because he was truly a woman on the inside, and he was trying to hide that by being the most manly man, and manly men beat and control their wives.
Yeah, he must have been a rev at the time. I mean, so she did, well, I wouldn't surprise me if Rev starts coming out as trans. But then again, the trans people wouldn't even accept him.
And I was not an easy wife to control. It was about 2 years after we got married that I found out the truth. But I didn't leave him until 2008. After 2006, we had to leave that trailer because the neighbors would have killed him. We couldn't go back to that trailer. So we had to get another apartment. We moved over to Beach Boulevard. And we both started working at the same place. For about a year and a half, we both worked together at Five Guys. We worked together at Five Guys in the morning. I would drive us there. And then we would have lunch together and separate. And I would go to P.F. Chang's and he would go to Cheesecake Factory. And then would we meet up at night and I would drive us home. And then in 2008, I came home early from work one day and found him in bed with another woman. And that was the last straw for me. I dropped everything. I quit both my jobs that day and I moved in with my grandmother. That was in 2008. So we married in 2004. I left him in 2008. How is that only 1 year? How is that technically barely living together? Yes, we stayed married until about 2013. He wanted that. That was his choice. Well, I didn't have the money to file, but also he told me that he didn't want to ever get married again because being married was a part of what made it okay for him to beat me, because once he was married to me, he felt like he owned me and could do whatever he wanted. And so he wanted to take that temptation away and just, if anybody wanted to marry him, he could say, well, I'm already married and it's a big headache. And so we didn't get divorced until 2013 when the girlfriend he was with pushed for the divorce. She pushed and pushed hard because she told him that I was going to go for alimony if it hit the 10-year mark. And she didn't want to have that happen. What really, she wanted to marry him. And so she got the divorce, she married him, and within 6 months, she had left him because he was beating her. Because once they were married, he felt like he owned her and he could do what he wanted. Which is exactly what he told me would happen if he got divorced. So you can play it off as being all my fault. I had no reason to get divorced from him because I was never planning to get married again. And he didn't want the divorce from me because it gave him an excuse to not have to get married again. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. She keeps talking over this whole shit. But then again, this is stuff that we haven't this is another one of her bold-faced lies, because we all know how Mary refuses to accept full responsibility for her actions, so she'll lie continuously to save her skin.
The divorce now took a long time because, Mary didn't want to pay for it, and I don't think, I don't know if he did or not, but anyway, it took a while for him to get that. And I believe he's the one that actually filed for it, but I'm not sure about that, so don't, I'd have to look, and I just ain't got time to look for that. I'm looking up other things. I'm trying to refresh my memory. And
Right. Real quick, somebody in the chat, Nissa Threpwood just said just wanted me to send some love from the UK to you. Internationally, people fucking hate this bitch, and they want fucking justice for you.
I would be so sad if people. I get sad when I think about something that I probably did do on purpose.
Okay, so here she's really gonna suck his dick and say she would be sad if people hated me because of her. Watch her newer videos to see how well that sentiment has held up. Because now every one of her videos is full of hatred and spite and cruelty directly aimed at me, and it's not even based in truth. When I told my story, it was based in truth, and it needs to get something out of me.
Right.
To make somebody upset. I don't want it. I would not want that. I don't want people to think, and I don't want people to think I'm being mean to her. I'm not. I have dealt with a lot, and I have sat on a lot, and I told you, I'll take a lot until I get pushed too far, and she pushed me too far.
Yeah, pushed you far beyond too far.
Right. Somebody said something about the cerebral palsy that, about, I guess that's in reference to her little brother.
Yep.
Right.
I think on here, I didn't come out and tell her what Mary was saying, and I knew what she'd been saying for a long time, but.
What me, my grandmother, and Starla have been saying. Stop saying it's only me saying it. Meemaw told me what happened to little Ronnie. Meemaw told me that the day he was born, my father came home, smacked my mom, started screaming that the child in her stomach was going to be another goddamn girl, and he wasn't going to have it, knocked her to the ground, straddled her, sat on her pregnant belly, wrapped his hands around her throat, choked her, and beat her head into the ground until the neighbors came and pulled him off of her. And my little brother was born that day. I already confirmed it with Starla before you started paying people off for their silence. So there is confirmation in this family that other people know the truth about little Ronnie. You are lying. You are lying and making excuses to defend a monster.
No! She kind of does sound like Marble Mouth if you think about it. Marble Mouth or Hannah Stout was one of Shandy for Christ's simps before she disavowed her.
I was talking to her just because the May 6th was an anniversary day of his passing.
Right.
And, my daughter was on April 6th. So I know from one mom to another that feeling. So I thought, I'm going to just give her a call and let her know, I'm here and I'm thinking about her and my heart hurts with her. And I left a message, and the next day I had called just to see how she was doing, talk to her, and just make her laugh about something. And she, I just happened to get to bring it up. And I said, hey, I remember clearly at the hospital when, little Ronnie was born. And I said, do you remember what they actually said happened?
Right.
And her daughter has just been, the placenta previa. My daughter had that problem as well. And, it almost cost her her life. And it's Sarah, actually. So she was like, that's what it was. I just couldn't ever pronounce it correctly to tell y'all.
Yeah, it's hard to pronounce A large man sat on my stomach and beat my head into the ground. That's so much. Placenta plebia is easier to pronounce than my husband sat on my stomach and beat me. Tell the truth, Kathy. Tell the truth for little Ronnie's sake. Tell his truth. Do not give any medical terms or excuses for the monster that my father was. No more denying
the exact name. And so I thought, well, that does, because she wasn't beat up that night.
Ask Starla. Ask Starla. Ask Starla. Ask Starla. Ask fucking Starla.
At all, when he was born. That wasn't true at all.
Actually, you know what? You don't have to ask Starla. I'll fucking show you what Starla has to say about what happened to little Ronnie. Look at this. Look. Just look.
Here we go.
Just fucking look. You fucking bitch. You fucking lying ass bitch. You want to take my little brother's story?
In case you guys are wondering, this is my PayPal that I've been shilling out. I mean, most of the money goes to stock photos that I'll be using for art, for my art, because I'm an artist at heart, and I like Photoshop. I like to do Photoshop shit, and I also like to draw.
Away. You want to take my little brother's story. You want to take his story. Starla White Benoit is who you need to contract to get the truth about my little brother. Starla White Benoit knows the truth about my little brother. And if she does not stand up for him, she is a worthless piece of garbage that deserves to burn in hell. I asked her a simple question. Did he beat my mom the day Ronnie Jr. was born? And she said he did.
That's probably a lie, but okay.
He did. Did he beat my mom the day Ronnie Jr. was born? The answer is he did. So Kathy can go suck a motherfucking dick. She is lying. This is another family member that knows what happened. Kathy is lying about my little...
David, Hatman doesn't claim her. Hatman ain't the one pulling the strings here, David. Oh, yeah, she does.
Little brother's history. She's lying about his life that my father took away from him with his abuse. My mom will forever defend my father. She will forever lie because she doesn't want people to know that she was a heavy alcoholic. She doesn't want people to know she was on meth around her small children. She doesn't want people to know. So she's lying, and Kathy is lying for her, and none of it is right. None of it is protecting my little brother's legacy. She wants to talk so much about protecting her mother's legacy. What about my brother's legacy that you're defaming by saying it was this placenta plevia thing instead of the fact that her husband literally beat the crap out of her? I have already proven you are a liar, Kathy. I have already proven it with other family members.
Yeah, they are just saying that.
You didn't pay her off fast enough. You didn't pay her off fast enough. I got to one before your money did. I got to one before your money did.
I mean, that is exactly what happens. You hemorrhage.
Right.
And
it's a serious thing.
Yeah, you do. You hemorrhage when a 250-pound man is straddling you and sitting on your pregnant stomach and beating your head into the ground. You hemorrhage bad.
This is a newer Adrasdea video that I found.
And she passed out, and someone else had to find her. But
yeah, she passed out. Imagine passing out after having a man's hands around your throat, banging your head into the concrete. She just magically passed out. Nobody knows what happened. It's not as if her husband was sitting on her stomach, banging her head into the ground. Kathy is a liar, and I am angry that's why I'm angry. I'm angry. She's lying about my brother. She's lying about everything. And she says, I'm a liar. I already found the truth about little Ronnie. So why are you lying over and over and over again? I've already proved what happened to Bubba. No matter what diagnosis, as you said. What did the doctor say? What did the doctor know about the abuse that happened just moments before? Did they tell him that? Or did they lie like they always lied to keep my father from getting in trouble? Like you're lying now to keep my father from ever being held accountable for the monster that he was. He's dead and you still can't be honest.
She's married she's had so many. It would probably take me a year. That's why every little fact that I can find that I have.
Yeah, so what does this say about Adrasdea? She refuses to accept full responsibility. So now she's going to start. Oh, so Adrasdea came up with a new video as of recently. Okay. So we're just going to stop here because this is just her rambling on about how, again, Aunt Kathy lied about her little brother. But now she's defending her little brother. And we're going to end it off right here because this is something I would need to put it to a close because once again, Adrasdea cannot for the life of her accept full responsibility for anyone, not even herself. So I'm just going to close it right here.
I will not stop until the entire world knows what happened to my brother.
Of course, you won't. Oh, so now you care about your little brother?
You all want to yell that I'm doxing Starla? You're going to message her? Do it. Do it. Message her. Message her and tell her that I hate her. Message her and tell her to tell her mother that I hate her. Tell her mother that I hate all of them.
Go ahead.
Because they have lied and denied my little brother's truth for too long.
Yeah, about that. You deny the truth all the time.
Kathy's so gung-ho about protecting her mother's legacy. What about my brother? When does anybody ever protect him? When will anybody ever speak up for him? He was never able to speak. They took that away from him at birth. So I speak for him, and Kathy wants to take that away. Because if he was born to abuse, then I must have also been in an abusive home, and she...
Well, technically you are. That explains why you're acting like a complete idiot.
She can't let people believe that, so she has to destroy my brother's truth. The truth that he lived 23 years of his life handicapped by his own father. She wants to bury that and push it to the background and make it like it's no big deal.
That's because
my father crippled his own child and then he used him as a drug mule. It is a very big deal.
Prove it.
My brother deserves the truth to be known. That he laid in an unmarked grave for nearly a decade. They used him for everything they could.
Wait, what?
They used grave for the truth. My brother deserves for the truth to be known. That he laid in an unmarked grave for nearly a decade. They used him for everything they could. And then they put him in an unmarked grave right next to the man that crippled him. And y'all don't think it's important for anybody to know that? Or that it would hurt somebody who had to live with it and see it and know that the rest of the family is protecting.
Wait, whoa. Your brother is in an unmarked grave next to your father? Are you making this shit up again? Because it sounds like she is. Then again, this is Adrasdea, so I don't expect much from her.
The monster that did it because they're too ashamed of the fact that they didn't stop him. You can't say that you were wrong, that you didn't protect us children. So you say it never happened. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And I hate all of you.
Are you going to have your revenge on people? Yeah. The worst thing, Bob Dickens said, the worst thing about it is that she never did anything for her brother while he was alive, but now she wants to use him to score victim points, then turns around and blames them for using him. Oh, yeah, it kind of sounds like it, Bob. It kind of sounds like it. I mean, why do you think I put this thumbnail, this picture I made in Photoshop in the thumbnail that says Mary has no empathy? Because it's true. She has no empathy for anyone, not even herself. And she goes around accusing others of not having empathy, when in actuality, she's the one who's being the one without any empathy. And honestly, she's kind of a piece of shit. She thinks that this will provide her with love and validation. On her, you mean her truth, David, her truth. Don't you mean her truth? She cares for her brother. Now PayPal her backlash Adrasdea. PayPal me, Rickzilla. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. That's going to do it for tonight. That's going to do it for tonight's stream. Thank you guys for coming out. Anyway. Thank you guys for coming out. That's going to do it for tonight. I hope you guys liked this. If you did, be sure to comment and subscribe. Like the stream, comment, and subscribe to see more. If you want to donate to my PayPal, the link, I've already linked it in the chat. If you want to hang out or talk to me, you can follow me on Twitter at rgjaime91. I'm going to be covering more of Adrasdea in the near future if you guys want to check it out. And that's pretty much it. That being said, I'm Rickzilla, and I will see you guys next time.